Space Station Kestrel 12 floated in the void like a lonely lighthouse on a cosmic sea. Humans had built it as a gateway into unknown sectors, exciting, dangerous, and poorly funded. The corridors hummed with overworked systems and tired crew trying to hold everything together. One of those crew members was Elias Brandt, maintenance technician and part-time miracle worker. He wasn't a soldier or a hero. His weapons were wrenches and soldering irons. His battlefield was faulty equipment. And his enemies, leaks, so many leaks. After a double shift wrestling with a faulty water filtration unit, Elias finally escaped to the crew showers, his sanctuary. Hot water was one of the few luxuries on Kestrel 12, and he intended to enjoy every drop. His jumpsuit hit the floor with a splat, missing the laundry chute completely. "I'll deal with that later," he muttered. He stepped into the shower stall, pressed the water control, and let the steaming cascade wash away exhaustion. Oh, thank God. Finally. Then, a tiny sound, not metal, not machinery, soft, alive. Elias slowly turned his head. Hello? Sitting in the corner, half-crouched like a startled pet, was a tiny dragon girl, small enough to fit in his arms, but unmistakably draconic. Emerald scales that sparkled under the water, delicate wings tucked tight, long ears twitching like radar antennas. Big silver eyes stared up at him, and blinked. Elias yelled. Not bravely. Why? There's a dragon in my shower, the alien squeaked, slipping slightly on the wet tile but staying in place. She didn't look aggressive. She looked terrified. She spoke, soft, melodic, broken galactic standard but understandable, warm, safe, human. Safe? Elias grabbed the nearest towel and wrapped it around himself in a half-superhero, half-panic cape. Yes, human. And this is a private shower. You can't just... What are you? Who are you? How did you get in here? The dragon girl swallowed, wings trembling. Hiding. Hunter's chase. You smell. Kind. This wasn't an animal. She was intelligent. A child. He noticed the red blinking tracking collar around her neck. It looked cruel. Restrictive. It beeped like it was transmitting a location. His face dropped. Oh no. Someone is tracking you, aren't they? She nodded nervously. Bad ones. Want Renaxi. Rena who? She tapped her chest. Renaxi. Hatchling of Sky Clans. Clanless now. Her voice broke. Elias felt his heart tighten. He softened his tone. Did someone take you from your home? She tucked her head down. A very human gesture of shame and fear. Zorth Dominion. Steal young wings. Sell. If weak, throw away. The Zorth. Elias had heard stories. Cold-blooded slavers, reptilian overlords who built empires on fear, and now one of their victims was in his shower. Hey, he said gently. Look at me. Renaxi peeked up, silver eyes shimmering. No one is going to hurt you here. I promise, she blinked, confused. Promise? Yes, Elias said, surprising himself with the certainty in his voice. You're safe with me? Interruption bang. A loud metallic crash echoed down the corridor. Renaxi gasped. Hunter's fine, Elias cursed. They're already on the station. The girl whimpered. The collar's beeping quickened. He made a decision he didn't fully think through. Come on, up, he said, scooping her into his arms. She squealed in surprise, then clung to him instinctively, tail curling around his waist. Scales surprisingly warm. Elias grabbed his damp jumpsuit with his free hand and darted to the door. The restroom hatch slid shut just as 3 armored Zorth hunters rounded the corner. They were massive, easily 7 feet tall, scales black like obsidian, helmets reflecting red tactical lights. One hissed, Return stolen property. We'll execute you swiftly. Wow, Elias snapped back. Thanks for the reassuring customer service. They advanced, claws scraping the floor. Elias smacked a panel. Emergency wash system activated. Suddenly, whoosh! A tidal wave of high-pressure foam shot from the ceiling, slamming into the Zorth, sending them crashing backward like bowling pins. Elias ran, bare feet slapping wet metal. Renaxi hugged his neck, eyes wide with a mixture of fear and awe. You very strong human, she chirped. No, just very desperate. He dove into a maintenance shaft and sealed the hatch behind them with a pipe wrench. Adrenaline roared through him. He was naked except for a towel. He was protecting a dragon child. He'd just assaulted heavily armed slavers using shower foam. What had his life become? Improvised surgery. He set Renaxi gently onto a work table. Okay, we have to get that collar off you. Her eyes widened in terror. No, collar explode if removed wrong. Of course it would. Zorth were monsters. Elias grabbed a plasma cutter and magnifier goggles. Trust me, Renaxi trembled. If I boom, I'm sorry. He placed a hand on her shoulder. You're not going to boom. Not today. He worked slowly, carefully, sweat mixing with water still dripping from his hair. His hand shook, but never enough to slip. Click, the collar popped off. Renaxi gasped. Alive? Very. She pounced forward and hugged him tightly, wings fluttering in relief. Elias, protect. He laughed. With relief, with disbelief, with a weird sense of pride. But then, heavy stomping echoed from beyond the hatch. Renaxi stepped in front of him. You hide. I fight. No way, Elias protested. You're a kid. Have fire, she whispered. He blinked. Like dragons? She nodded, cheeks puffing slightly. Burn big lizards. She meant the Zorth. Elias felt a grin tug at his lips despite everything. You're one brave little dragon. The fire within. The hatch buckled. Sparks flew. Elias raised a stun rifle he grabbed from a locker. Stay behind me. Renaxi flicked her tail with defiant confidence. No, together. The door ripped open. Zorth hunters stormed in, hungry for violence. Elias fired the stun rifle. Bolts bounced off their scale armor uselessly. One hunter swung a baton. Boom! A surge of fire burst from Renaxi's mouth, engulfing the lead hunter in flames. Armor melted, the creature howling in agony. The others recoiled. Fear in eyes Elias didn't think capable. Fire spawn. Retreat! They scrambled back, slipping in melted flooring. Renaxi collapsed to her knees, spent. Elias caught her before she fell. He looked into her shimmering eyes and said softly, You were amazing. She smiled weakly. Scared, but fight. Yeah, he chuckled. That's courage. Humanity arrives. Human Marines burst in moments later. Full armor. Advanced rifles. True soldiers. The squad leader scanned the room. Report! Elias pointed at the scorched hunter on the ground. That one attacked me while I was showering. The officer blinked, twice. Then she knelt before Renaxi. Her voice softened. You are safe now. We'll handle this. Renaxi looked past the officer, straight to Elias. With him, she insisted. Elias placed his hand on her back. I'm here. Not going anywhere. The officer studied them both and nodded. We stand with the innocent, she said firmly. The Zorth are done here. A new life begins. Hours later, security swept the station. The Zorth ship was seized. The remaining hunters captured. Renaxi, free at last, curled on a medical bed, still hugging Elias's arm like a lifeline. Command arrived with news. Until we can return her to her people, the Admiral said. She stays under human protection. Renaxi's ears perked. I stay. With Elias? The Admiral raised a brow.
If Elias agrees, Elias blinked.
Me? I fix pipes. Renaxi climbed into his lap and curled there like a warm cat. You protect, she said firmly. Strong, family. Family? He repeated, shaken. She nuzzled his chest. Best word, how could he refuse that? He wrapped an arm around her tiny shoulders. Okay, kid, we're in this together. Renaxi's tail wagged happily. No more showers, surprise. Maybe, he groaned. Rule 1, no sneaking into showers. She giggled, eyes shining. Maybe, he sighed. I'll take a maybe. Space Station Kestrel 12 had seen excitement before. Malfunctioning reactors, pirate skirmishes, drunken space tourists. But nothing like this. A tiny dragon girl had breathed fire through the walls. Zorth slavers had invaded. And Elias Brandt, a maintenance tech who just wanted a peaceful shower, had somehow become the guardian of an alien hatchling. Things escalated fast in space. A human promise Renaxi slept curled beside Elias on the medical cot, scales warm against his side. Her tail occasionally flicked in dreams, wings twitching. Exhausted from fire breathing, she looked younger, just a scared child who'd lost everything. Elias stroked the back of her head gently. You're safe now. She murmured something in her sleep. His name. He clenched his jaw. Determination solidifying like steel. I won't let them take you. Ever. Before he could whisper more, a Marine officer entered. Brandt, command needs you. Elias gently freed his arm from Renaxi's grip and followed. New threat in the briefing chamber. Holographic displays flickered, showing a Zorth battlecruiser emerging from cloak near Kestrel 12. Twice the station's size. Filled with soldiers. They didn't come for negotiations, the Admiral growled. A harsh voice cracked through the comms, broadcasting to the entire station. Return our asset, the hatchling, and we may spare your station. Refuse and we burn you down to the last molecule. Gasps echoed among the staff. Asset? Elias spat. She's a child. The Admiral nodded grimly. The Zorth don't see life the way we do. Marines whispered nervously. Kestrel 12 wasn't a fortress, just a hub for explorers. Its weaponry was minimal. If they attack... The officer paused, swallowing. We can't win. Elias slammed a fist on the console. We protect her. That's what humans do. The Admiral studied him quietly. I agree, she said at last, which is why we move her to the core safe zone. You stay with her. Me? Elias blinked. Ma'am, I'm just a mechanic. You became a guardian the moment she chose you. He had no argument against that. I fight too. Renaxi was awake when Elias returned. She sat cross-legged, tail wrapped around her ankles, eyes glowing softly. You leave, she said, voice small. I scared. Elias knelt in front of her. I was in a meeting, and I'm not leaving you again. Ever. She rose and pressed her forehead to his, an affectionate Sky Clan gesture. You smell safe, she whispered. He chuckled. Still recovering from the shower foam, probably. Her expression hardened suddenly. A warrior's spark. I fight too. Burn hunters, Elias frowned. No, you only use your fire when you have to, remember? She pouted. But I want help. You will, he promised, but we play it smart. She perked up. Smart like ambush? What? No. No ambush. We're protecting you, not starting a war. She tilted her head. War already. He couldn't argue with that. Mechanic's plan Elias guided her to a hidden maintenance shaft. We're going to the core, he explained. Deepest part of the station. Renaxi crawled beside him, moving quick despite her size. Zorth come again? Probably. Then we burn? Only if necessary, he sighed. While crawling, he felt something warm on his shoulder. Renaxi rested her head there, whispering, You saved me once. I save you too, his chest tightened. You already did, she blinked. When? You gave me someone to fight for. Her tail curled happily. Family, he smiled. Yeah, family. Boarding attack. The station suddenly shook, violent enough to throw them against the shaft walls. Alarms blared. Warning, enemy forces have breached docking sector C. All crew prepare for combat evacuation. Renaxi trembled. Elias squeezed her hand. We stick together, another tremor. Metal groaned. Zorth warships latched onto hull plating, cutting through steel like butter. Elias knew the Marines would try their best. But they were outnumbered, outgunned, outmatched. Renaxi's secret. The safe zone door slid open. Scientists and officers turned, fear and curiosity mixing as they saw who Elias carried in his arms. The Admiral joined them. She needs to remain hidden. Renaxi bristled. Not hide, fight. Elias held her gently but firmly. Kid, listen, we're not losing you. She closed her eyes and her scales suddenly flared with brilliant bioluminescence. Gold and sapphire pulses rippled beneath her skin. Scientists gasped. Notes scribbled. Hypotheses shouted. Elias stepped between them protectively. Hey, no experiments. The science chief shook his head. No, this is important. Her clan's fire ability evolves under threat. She's generating a defensive aura. Elias blinked. What does that mean? It means, the scientist said breathlessly, her people might not simply breathe fire. They generate shield energy powerful enough to repel starship weapons. Renaxi's eyes fluttered open. I protect family. War in the corridor's explosions thundered closer. Marines shouted. The Admiral handed Elias a better weapon, an actual plasma rifle. You hold the line here with our troops. I'll coordinate evac, Elias nodded. We won't let them through. Renaxi tapped his arm. I'm strong now. I know, he said. But stay behind me unless I say otherwise. She puffed up, but nodded. The first wave of Zorth hunters smashed through the corridor. Marines fired. Elias fired. The enemy advanced. Until, Renaxi roared. A wave of shimmering force burst from her body, a dome of energy expanding outward. Zorth bolts disintegrated against it. Hunters were thrown backward as the pulse smashed them into walls. Marines stared. Kid, Elias said breathlessly. You're incredible. Renaxi wobbled. Elias caught her again. Easy, she smiled weakly. Help? Good. He hugged her to his chest. Good? You just saved all of us. Critical failure. The PA system crackled. Reactor destabilizing. Evacuate immediately. One Zorth boarding pod had pierced the wrong system. The core was melting down. Marines and officers panicked. The Admiral returned, face pale. We can't shut it down. If we don't leave, this station's going to explode. Elias stared in horror. But Renaxi... She slipped from his arms, landing lightly. I fix. No, he said instantly. It's too dangerous. She placed both hands on the crackling power conduits. Her scales brightened, then blazed like a newborn star. The shield aura surged into the core. Readout stabilized. Alarms silenced. The meltdown stopped. Renaxi fell limp. Elias rushed and caught her, heart trembling. Renaxi, hey, stay with me. Come on! Her eyes opened a sliver. Family safe? You're safe too, Elias whispered fiercely. He carried her close, ignoring Commander's orders and chaos around him. We're leaving, he told the Admiral. Now, the Admiral nodded. Shuttle bay is secure. Let's move! Escape and Declaration Marines formed a protective ring around Elias and Renaxi as they raced toward the evacuation shuttle. Zorth forces tried to intercept but couldn't penetrate the Marines' disciplined line. As the shuttle launched, the Admiral sent one final broadcast across the system. To the Zorth Dominion, humanity does not surrender children. You have made an enemy today. The Zorth battlecruiser fired, but couldn't prevent the smaller vessels from jumping to hyperspace. Kestrel 12 exploded behind them, a starburst of wreckage, but everyone survived, thanks to one tiny dragon. New beginnings. The humans relocated to Port Helios Station, far safer, much better defended. Renaxi recovered slowly, supported by both medical care and constant snuggles from Elias. Not official treatment, but effective. One morning, she woke up fully energized. Wings fluttering wildly, I hungry, Elias smiled. Good morning to you too. Hungry big, she clarified. Eat whole cow? He choked on his coffee. Let's start with bacon. After breakfast, the Admiral approached them. We've arranged a message to be sent to Renaxi's people. The Sky Clans will know she's alive. Renaxi's eyes sparkled. Home, Elias tried to smile. Tried to ignore the sudden ache in his chest. Renaxi noticed instantly. She touched his cheek. Elias said. He forced a chuckle. Just thinking. I'm happy you might get to see your family again. She climbed into his lap, staring up at him with fierce sincerity. Already with family. His heart froze. You, she said firmly, tapping his chest. Our family. Elias wrapped his arms around her, tears stinging unexpectedly. And you're mine. The HFY message Renaxi soon became a symbol, a living reminder that humanity's purpose among the stars wasn't domination, but protection. Soldiers saluted her. Civilians adored her. Diplomats respected her. She would grow stronger. She would one day lead, but she would always remember. The exhausted human mechanic who found her huddled in a shower. The first person who ever told her she was safe. Final scene. That night, Elias and Renaxi stood together at a viewport, watching starlight shimmer across the void. Renaxi leaned her head on his shoulder. You think Zorth come again? She asked. Oh, absolutely, Elias said casually. Bullies don't give up, she growled softly. We fight, he smiled. Yeah, together, she looked up. Elias' strongest warrior, he laughed. You've never seen me try to fix a coffee machine? Renaxi giggled, silver eyes shining with peace. Humanity strong, she whispered. Elias squeezed her tiny hand. HFY, he agreed with a grin. Humanity, family, yeah. In the cold dark of space, a mechanic and a dragon hatchling stood ready, not conquerors, not tyrants, protectors. A new legend had begun, HFY.